Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's your boy Hot Boxing Minute. Back at you again with the realness, of course, as only I can dish it to you. You know how it is. All right, so either way, we just completed the fight out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, we didn't. Us as boxing fans, I guess we did. Of course, Big Baby Jared Anderson continues his run of dominance, stays undefeated. He got the 5th round stoppage over Andrei Rudenko in a very uneventful fight. Now, for those of you that didn't watch it, just know in advance, Jared Anderson was dominant from almost the opening bell in that fight. Andrei Rudenko was shorter, he was older, he had far more mileage, and it was inevitable. I'm a little bit confused about why it was they chose Andrei Rudenko after the loss against Charles Martin. Not the loss. After Jared Anderson had that decision win against Charles Martin, they decided to go with Andrei Rudenko as his next opponent. Normally, I think the idea when you're matching up these fighters and you got a elite level talent like Jared Anderson, ideally you want to pair them with successively more difficult opposition with the idea and the goal in mind to help them develop more tools and develop more facets to their game. So when they picked Andrei Rudenko, I think it was more what they call a jobber. Actually, this entire fight card was a jobber, except for Zhan Kossibutsky versus Efe Ajagbe. But every other fight card pretty much on this top-ranked fight list was a jobber. Essentially, it was gimme fights. Gimme to these fighters that were signed to top rank so that they can all get wins. Welcome to boxing promotion, folks. This is not a new concept. So Jared Anderson had that tough fight with Charles Martin. In the eyes of the general public, I think he caught a lot of blowback for that because a lot of people were under the impression that Jared Anderson was some kind of abnormally gifted human being or some kind of super talent, which I believe as far as USA boxing is concerned, he is still the most talented American heavyweight that we have in the game right now. At least that's how it appears on the outset. Who knows what will happen in the next fight? These things change very fast in the world of boxing. Andrei Rudenko really didn't bring anything to the table that Jared Anderson hadn't already seen. What we learned in that fight with Jared Anderson and Charles Martin. Oh, by the way, did you check out Jared Anderson's outfit in that fight? In his ring walk? Let me see. Bam. There you go. He came in looking like Batman. I love it. I love it. So that was his ring walk attire. You gotta love great entertainer skill sets. People that are charismatic. That's why people love Jared Anderson. If it's not the pimp suit, he's always got some interesting outfit. That photo was courtesy of Mikey Williams in Top Rank. They actually sent media some photos from the event, but I digress. The goal with your successive opposition when you're matchmaking guys like Jared Anderson or say Abdullah Mason or Bruce Shushu Carrington, who all fought on this card this evening, is to successively match them with tougher opposition. And in his fight with Charles Martin, the deficiencies we saw with Jared Anderson were he doesn't have the kind of power to just walk through bigger men, which Charles Martin was. For guys that are bigger, that have longer reach, Jared Anderson had this tendency when he's fighting defensively to just lean back, as opposed to getting his head off the center line. They'll block high or lean back. Not really too big on doing this or throwing off the slips or the unders. So with Charles Martin, an opponent who was taller and had longer reach than him, his stepping back ended up with him, Jared Anderson, getting clipped a couple times. He didn't get dropped, but he definitely got wobbled. The good thing about him getting wobbled is we did see him bite down on his gum shield and he dogged it out. The instant you wobble Jared Anderson, he will come back at you and try to get those licks back. So we do know at the very least that he's a dog. So getting his head off the center line, and we also noticed that he threw everything but the kitchen sink at Charles Martin, actually including the kitchen sink, and didn't get Charles Martin out of there. So clearly Jared Anderson is not the one-punch stopping power machine that we were hoping he would be, a la Deontay Wilder or something of that nature. But regardless, it was still a dominant performance on the part of Jared Anderson. That's him. He was very heavily invested in the heavy body work early, and he eventually did get the stoppage against Andrei Rudenko in that 5th round. He got the TKO stoppage. I'm going to post up the video of what it looked like here on my screen. There we go. So this is the very last few seconds of that fight. And let me hit that play button so y'all can see how it ended.
Rudenko does not look good at all here in round 5. Not at all.
Yeah.
Look at this attack to the head. Anderson all
He was getting work.
Headshot after headshot. Rudenko's not firing back, just covering up. Split the guard with the left hand. More power shots. Then he goes to the body in the mix of it. This is a brutal beating that Jared Anderson's putting down. And it ends.
Ooh-wee. There it is, folks. There it is. Big round of applause. Big round of applause for Big Baby Jared Anderson. You know what I'm saying? It's good work. It's good work. He got the stoppage. People like to see stoppages. As you can see, Andrei Rudenko didn't have many answers as he was slowly getting beat down. Jared Anderson advances to 16-0. He's got 15 knockouts, so he is back to knockout number 1. Prior to this, he had got stoppages over all of his opponents, and then he got to 14-0, had stoppages over all of his opponents, 14-0 with 14 knockouts. Got to Charles Martin, got a decision that was his first opponent in his professional career that he didn't get the stoppage win on. Now we're back to him winning. Andrei Rudenko drops to 35-6. He is a journeyman's journeyman. Nothing new going on there. So what does this mean, and what does this win do for Big Baby Jared Anderson? Let's take a look at these boxing rankings in the heavyweight division. Let me pull up the screen for y'all real quick. Yes, Sirski. I got the bottom. There you go. I'm actually getting a lot faster at moving through these rankings and stuff and moving through these pages. So where is this one at? There it is. Okay. So I got it on the boxing rank. Let me show you what these views are looking like. So currently you've got Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, the WBC, where you got Jared Anderson here is the number 7 position. So on the WBC rankings, he's right there with Dillian White as underneath Dillian White, right above Martin Bakole. He's there in the WBA also, ranked 7th. He's right below Big Baby Jared Miller and right above Flip Ergovic. So he's looking at killers to the left and the right, no matter which direction he goes. He is ranked number 15th in the IBF sanctioning body. So that's about where he's at. He has a lot of potential future opposition. And I think the general thought was going to be, when they made this fight card, was Zhan Kossibutsky was going to fight Efe Ajagbe. Going into it, Zhan Kossibutsky was the betting favorite, and I think they would have likely paired up Zhan Kossibutsky with Big Baby Jared Anderson after Zhan Kossibutsky got the win. But lo and behold, it turns out there was no win for Zhan Kossibutsky. So I'm going to get into that shortly, but it looks like Jared Anderson, you know, he's there, he's undefeated. I don't know who his next opponent is going to be. Is he ready for someone like a Flip Ergovic? Is he ready for someone like a Jarrell Miller? I think he would beat a Jarrell Miller, to be honest. But is he ready for a Dillian White? Is he ready for a Martin Bakole? Let me know in the comment section what you think. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. But I'm not sure about where his skill set is, but either way, nothing but tough fights from here on out for Big Baby Jared Anderson. So, like I was saying, the co-main event, or I guess the undercard that led up to the main event, was the fight between Zhan Kossibutsky and Efe Ajagbe. And I think most of us were expecting, you know, this to be a competitive affair, to at the least bit somewhat competitive. And turns out it was far from that. It was far from that. Zhan Kossibutsky, despite what I believed him to be dominant as far as skill set and power coming into this affair, seemed like he just mentally wasn't there during the course of the fight. So, you know, Efe Ajagbe got the win over him via disqualification. Let me share the screenshot of the article that was up there. This is in Boxing Scene, but let me post it up on the screen. You got Efe Ajagbe gets disqualification win over Zhan Kossibutsky due to numerous low blows. And there might have been easily about 10 low blows. And like, come on, man, you can't be doing that nonsense. Yeah, exactly. Boo that. Boo that nonsense. There ain't no room for that in this game, folks. Like you can't do stuff like that. So Efe Ajagbe, let me see if I can pull up the clip of one of the instances where he was doing the low blow nonsense. I can pull up the YouTube clip of him doing it. Let me see. Oh, here's just one of the instances I believe it was in round 3, the referee finally decided, referee Chris Flores deducted 2 points in round 3. Eventually, he called a halt to the affair 33 seconds into round 4. So round 3 was pretty much where the iceberg started to crumble. Round 4 was where he called a halt to the affair. But I'm going to show you this clip, and let me see if I can get this on the screen. Boom. There you go. So this is just one. This was like the 8th or 9th. This was, I'd say, the 7th overall low blow where referee Chris Flores finally decided to deduct a point.
From Kossibutsky.
Oh, that is
intended. He intended to land that shot twice.
I mean, that is going way low and driving an uppercut.
And that's because retaliation.
So let's see it one more time.
From Kossibutsky.
Oh,
that's intended.
That was with force. That was with force. Let's extra booing on that one. Extra booing on that one. I don't really know what's wrong with these people. Zhan Kossibutsky had every skill set and every tool to defeat your boy, but he chose not to. And that's on him if he wants to do it. Either way, dominant win for Jared Anderson. Efe Ajagbe advances to 18-1 with 13 knockouts. I don't know what's next for Efe Ajagbe on the rankings list. Is he on there? He's number 14 on the WBC. Right above him is Luis Ortiz. Right below him is Flip Ergovic. I don't suppose they would stick Efe Ajagbe in with either of those two fighters, but you never know. Maybe Flip, but I believe Flip might be signed to Matchroom, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. And the WBA, he is not even on that list. No, he sure is not. Is Efe Ajagbe in the other sanctioning bodies? He is not in the other sanctioning bodies in the top 15. So we'll see what's next for Efe Ajagbe. I do believe, honestly, that the intention of Top Rank was to really put Efe Ajagbe in there tough against Zhan Kossibutsky, and I think they figured Zhan Kossibutsky would beat Efe Ajagbe. Efe Ajagbe was not the betting favorite leading up to that fight, but either way, it is what it is. And Nico Ali Walsh, oh man, Nico Ali Walsh. Let me post up the results of his fight card because it was quite tragic, y'all. My man, I like Nico Ali Walsh. I think he gets a lot of flack unnecessarily by boxing fans who were mad at the way that he just gets shamelessly promoted. I'm not one of those people that's so tough on my guy, but Nico Ali Walsh dropped a majority decision against Sona Akale, and that's all she wrote for his perfect record. So, let's take a look at the headline here inside this article. Let me see if I can post this up here. Where do I have that article at? There it is. So Nico Ali Walsh dropped the majority decision against Sona Akale. And here's the moment where they did announce the decision.
Winner by majority decision, Sona Sling Proper Akale.
Now it was an entertaining fight. Maybe I can back up and you guys can get some glimpses of it.
See that?
They were scrapping.
Like almost like a Philly shell.
Yeah. Akale set that up though. Good counter, but Akale throwing arm punches now here in round number 5. Nice uppercut from Akale.
He has to get off the ropes. He has to eat the
That
tie.
his legs hurt.
My man. It is what it is. Check it out, folks. A moment of silence for my man Nico Ali Walsh, who got the first loss of his professional career. He drops to 8-1. I could be wrong about that. Let me make sure I got these records correct. He is now officially 8-1, folks. Salute to a fallen virginity. 'Twas once an undefeated record at 8-0 of Nico Ali Walsh, the progeny, the grandchild of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, experienced his loss today at the hands of Sona Akale, who once was a rapper that went by the name of Slink Proper, a young man who did not come into this fight highly touted, but still managed to take away the virginity of one of USA Boxing's favorite not so talented guys, or maybe he's mid-grade talented, but Nico Ali Walsh now gets his first L. So, hats off to Sona Akale, Slink Proper. Fascinating enough with Sona Akale, Slink Proper, he is 8-1 now, 4 knockouts. He started his professional boxing career in 2019 when he was 31 years old. Yes, folks, he is 35 years old. So, I don't know what that means for Nico Ali Walsh to lose his first fight at the hands of somebody who started their pro career at 31 years old. I don't know what would possess anybody to want to begin fighting at 31 years old. That's a hell of a career move. And hey, best of luck to anybody in the fight game. I hope we see Nico Ali Walsh again in the future. This could be his moment where he grows and becomes a better fighter. It could be the moment that breaks, where the straw breaks the camel's back and he's never the same kind of fighter again. So best of thoughts, and I hope that he decides to keep fighting, and I hope Sona Akale, Slink Proper keeps fighting. As for the rest of that card, I'm not going to do too much in depth on it. It was a jobber fight card. All of them were pretty much set up with opponents that were there for them to win. Brooklyn's finest, Bruce Shushu Carrington, got the win over Antonio Contreras via unanimous decision, 80-72, 79-73, 79-73, which is pretty wise. That means he pretty much washed him. You had Abdullah Mason, who defeated Cesar Villaraga in a 6-round match, 60-54 on all 3 judges' scorecards. That's a 6-0 sweep. So the blue chip young prospect talents that were all on the Olympic team from 2020 are doing very well so far for Top Rank. Boxing community, what did you think about Big Baby Jared Anderson's performance this evening against Andrei Rudenko? Is there any value he can gain from that fight? And what's next for Jared Big Baby Anderson? Let me know in the comments section. Hit that like button, hit follow. If you haven't already done so, folks, this is Hot Boxing Minute, the future of boxing analysis on this platform. Peace.